Save yourself hours and hours each week in managing your social media accounts. We'll tell you how to do it next on Livestream Deals. Welcome to episode 21 of Livestream Deals. I'm Ross Brand. This is the show where we feature products, services, and events for live streamers, podcasters, and online content creators, giving you the tools you need to succeed in your content creation efforts. And today I'm excited to welcome Mike Alton. He's the brand evangelist for Agorapulse, which is an extremely popular app now in the social media content creator community. Mike has been an amazing brand evangelist in spreading the word about Agorapulse, and why not? It's a fantastic app that really speeds your time to market when it comes to scheduling and engaging and even analyzing how your social media is doing. Mike is a terrific and articulate voice in the world of blogging. He's a speaker, and as you'll hear in just a moment, he's also quite good on the mic as far as podcasting and live streaming. A tremendous communicator. Can't wait to talk to him. Let's get right to it. Join me as I sit down with Mike Alton to talk about Agorapulse. Our first guest is the brand evangelist for Agorapulse. He's a terrific blogger who stays on top of, I think, both the art and science of content marketing and content management. And he's a terrific speaker as well. We'll be speaking at Social Media Week, Lima, Ohio. That is, it's the Midwest's largest social media conference. In fact, if you haven't gotten tickets yet, there are still a few tickets remaining. Head on over to livestreamuniverse.com/SMWL19. I'll keep that up for a couple of seconds on the screen. Check that out. You can find that information and still get tickets. It's an amazing event. And Mike, before we get to Agorapulse, and thank you so much for joining us here on Livestream Deals, talk a little bit about what you're going to be talking about this year at Lima.
Sure. Well, hello, Ross. Thanks for having me. Right. Hello, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, Twitch, and Mixer. I think I got them all.
You got it. You got it. Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter, and Mixer. Yes.
Right.
The most channels I've ever gotten.
Okay. I feel very special. So, yeah, I'm going to be in Lima. It's in 2 weeks. And I am really privileged now to be on a panel that's being moderated by our mutual friend, Chris Strub, and Dr. I and Christine Gritman. They're going to be on the panel with me. We're going to be talking about some of the harsh truths and realities surrounding the creation of content. So a lot of you content creators that are out there, you're going to relate to a lot of the things that we're going to talk about.
And so when you go to speak at a conference, obviously being with Agorapulse, you're going to get a lot of questions about Agorapulse. So I'm sure our viewers have some of those questions as well. We'll try to bring in as much as we can in the time that we have with you. Tell us, just for people who are new to Agorapulse and maybe social media management tools, tell us what Agorapulse is and why people choose to use it to manage their social media.
Sure. And I'll tell it from the outset. I obviously love talking about Agorapulse, not just because I worked there. I've been using the tool for years now, ever since I first met the CEO at Social Media Marketing World back in 2016. So I've been using it for a long time, very familiar with it. It's one of my favorite tools to use. I've been using it, like I said, for so long that it's just part of my daily routine to jump in there and use that to check social media. So for those who've never heard of it, or maybe you just haven't dug into it very much yourself, it's what we call an all-in-one social media management tool. So it's scheduling, of course, to multiple social networks, but it's also monitoring. So you can go into one single dashboard and see things like tweets, comments, replies, direct messages, Facebook messages, comments on Instagram posts, comments on YouTube videos, comments on Facebook ads, all the different ways that your audience could be engaging with you, with your content on all the different platforms that you might be on. We bring them all into one dashboard, so you don't have to have a bunch of different tabs open, or heaven forbid you forget to check your LinkedIn company page posts. because most people probably aren't getting a lot of engagement, but the one time a lead reaches out to you on a LinkedIn company page post, you're probably going to want to read that and respond to them. Or even worse, if it's, some kind of a customer support issue, you're going to want to be on top of that. So that's what a dashboard does for you. Plus we add on reporting and we add on listening. So we give you that one single place where you can go in, you can manage all your social profiles and your clients. So that's why one of our bigger segments, if you will, in terms of our own customer base, are agencies. We have a ton of agencies that are using Agorapulse to handle all of their social media for all their clients.
So we got a quick question from Lenny Besterman, which is, when is Social Media Week Lima coming up? And that is coming up June 18th and 19th. So 2 weeks from 2 weeks.
Well, yeah,
2 weeks from sometime. Yeah, it's coming up. As I said, don't try and do math, Ross. You had the information. Just go with it. It's coming up June 18th and 19th. It's in Lima, Ohio. And again, you can go to livestreamdeals.com, and get more information on all the products we're featuring here. And if you scroll down a bit, we talked to Jessica last month, who's the founder of that event, and there's a link there as well. Getting back to Agorapulse, what platforms would you say that using social media management tool and using in particular Agorapulse is most helpful for
that's a good question. That'll vary a little bit. There's some aspects to pretty much each of these social networks that make having a tool by your side that can help you invaluable. So I'll give you some examples. With Facebook, if you're running advertising on Facebook, and if you're doing what we call a dark post, which is to say that instead of going to a post that you've already shared to your Facebook page and you're boosting it, instead you're going into the back end, into the ads manager, and you create the post in ads manager, which a lot of savvy people will do because that's where you get all the advanced targeting and those kinds of aspects. When you create a post like that and somebody comments on it, you won't see the comment in your normal notifications. In fact, some of the people watching today, this might be news. Some people watching today might not even realize that you're missing comments. The only way to see comments on an ad that you've created inside of Facebook Ads Manager is to actually go into Ads Manager and to click on that ad and to open it up and see, oh, wow, a bunch of people commented on this ad. A bunch of people were asking me questions about this thing that I was selling or this thing that I was promoting or what have you. So that's an issue. But when you have a tool like Agorapulse, we bring all those comments into the dashboard right alongside your native post comments. So that's an example specifically for Facebook where you almost have to have a tool. Otherwise, you're going to miss really important engagement. And that kind of thing happens all the time. LinkedIn's another good example where LinkedIn, it's a good idea to pay attention to your notification settings on all the social networks and make sure that you're not getting dinged for every single like, for every single favorite or whatever, because that can be overwhelming once you start to get a bit of an audience. If you're posting to LinkedIn and you've got a post that you maybe get 10 or more likes per post, you're probably not going to be notified for every single one of those. So you're going to want to turn that off. On LinkedIn, the likes and the comments and the shares are all bundled together into one notification toggle. So if you turn off a notification for post likes within LinkedIn, you're also turning off notifications for comments. So when you post to LinkedIn, the only time you would get a notification is if someone actually mentions you, which is a separate toggle. And again, this is like crazy, but that's the way it works on LinkedIn. And again, if you've got a dashboard tool like Agorapulse that's monitoring all the engagement on all of your posts, no matter what, and bringing them into a single feed, then you won't miss any comments on your LinkedIn posts.
So you don't have to be pestered by notifications all day, but you don't miss anything.
Exactly.
It's still all there for you when you check Agorapulse. Now, for LinkedIn, are there any restrictions on how you can use LinkedIn, or you can manage all your accounts on LinkedIn?
Yeah, that's a great question because every social network is different and they all change.
Right.
So, what I tell you is going to be true and effective as of today, Thursday, June 6th. So, tomorrow, this might be a little bit different because as a social media management tool, we rely on the social network's API, which is just a fancy word for the ability or the options or the functionality that they allow other tools to use. So, LinkedIn, for example, you can connect personal profiles and you can connect company pages. So you can connect both types of LinkedIn profiles. But there are some differences in terms of what you can do and what you'll be able to see. For instance, we can give you reports on your company page and how your posts are performing and how your audience is growing, but we don't have any reports on personal profiles because LinkedIn doesn't give them to us. We can allow you to publish video to pages, not to profiles. LinkedIn doesn't let us do that. So there are some differences there, but you can connect both types of profiles at a very minimum. You can schedule activity and you can monitor engagement with those profiles.
Yeah, Gage Van Top will be joining us later, the CEO of Streamyard, which is the platform we're using right now, says that's a nice feature. I've struggled finding comments for Facebook ads before. And again, as you mentioned, what we call dark posts are where it doesn't appear in your feed, right? So you can't just go to it in your feed and see the comments. So you're not going to get notified as though it was something that you posted natively on your page and then decided to boost afterwards, right?
Exactly right.
And so when you're using the different platforms, obviously, when people think of scheduling tools and management tools and analytics tools, traditionally they were aimed at Twitter first, and then they branched out to other platforms. Now Twitter isn't necessarily everybody's sort of primary place for social engagement, unless perhaps you're in politics or sports or live events and things like that. How could you use Agorapulse to sort of re-energize your Twitter account if you're not seeing the same engagement or having the same real-time conversations that you used to have maybe a few years ago on Twitter?
Twitter's really interesting because everything you said is absolutely right. The culture, the microculture, the kind of the micro society that's evolved around Twitter, like every social network, it changes over time. And with other social networks popping up, people kind of tend to change their own personal usage. But with Agorapulse, one of the cool things you can do is schedule activity. And what a lot of people need to do is kind of think outside the box when it comes to scheduling activity. It's super easy to think, oh, well, I've got some old content. I'm just going to schedule that to go out on a regular basis. Well, that's boring. I do that. Don't get me wrong. But that's boring. That's not really interesting or engaging. What they could do instead is what you did, Ross, right before this show, is you scheduled some tweets to go out during the show. You just did a little bit of prognostication. You knew where you were going to be and what you were going to be doing at this particular moment half an hour ago. And you decided to take advantage of that fact and use a tool to schedule that activity out so that you can continue to be active as a Twitter profile, even while you're actually broadcasting, or in this case, simulcasting to multiple channels. So there's lots of things you can be doing along those lines and just being proactive. And I love using the live streamer as an example because you can do a number of different things. First of all, you know, if you're a routine, regular live streamer, that you've got a show or maybe multiple shows that are going to be going live on a set time every single week or every day or however often your frequency is. So you can set up a queue. Maybe it's always 7 p.m. on Thursdays. And so you know that at 6 p.m. on Thursdays, you're going to want to promote the next show. And on Wednesday, you're going to promote that show. And on Tuesday, you're going to promote it and so on. You can set up a queue with those specific time slots in advance and know that I want to be tweeting out at those times to promote the next show. And then you can have a spreadsheet where you actually upload the tweets every single week, and you just tweak them in the spreadsheet the week before. Okay, Thursday night, these are my guests, this is the topic, this is the link, boom, put that in the spreadsheet and then upload it into the queue and have those ready to go. So it takes you just moments to schedule those out, as opposed to either A, not doing it, or B, doing it manually.
And you can upload it right from the spreadsheet. You don't have to copy and paste each tweet into the
Yeah, you
Wow.
download the spreadsheet as a basic CSV. That's a comma separated values list of kind of a really primitive form of a spreadsheet. You download that as a CSV, which Google Sheets, you can do that, so you don't have to buy Excel or anything like that. Download it as a CSV, upload it into the bulk publishing and Agorapulse, and choose the promotional queue that you set up, and you're done.
Right. Now, one of the things that Agorapulse, you hear with Agorapulse is social inbox zero. What exactly is that, and why should that be a goal of people using Agorapulse?
Well, it's this idea that every social platform that you have a presence on, you have an inbox. You've got a way that people are reaching out to you, whether they're commenting on your posts, they're sending you direct messages, they're retweeting you, they're replying, they're mentioning. There's all these different things. Obviously, the lingo is a little bit different with every network, but essentially the meaning is the same. They're trying to engage with you in some way, and you want to be able to keep on top of all those inbox mentions and inbox comments. And that means being able to get to a point where you've addressed every single one of them. So if I go into the actual native Twitter app right now, and I go to the notifications right now, it'll show me every single notification, and I can keep scrolling forever, right? And I don't know for sure if I've hit them all unless I remember where I stopped. Right. If I remember, this morning I checked Twitter and I favorited all the ones that came in, all the mentions and whatnot. If I don't remember that, then I'm going to be scrolling and rereading things. Inside of Agorapulse, you'll have that single inbox where you can resolve the comments and you can resolve the tweets or review them so that they're no longer in the inbox once you've done whatever you need to do with them. Maybe you need to reply. Maybe you just need to favorite them. Maybe you want to assign them to a team member. Maybe you've got a team and this is a customer support question that you want somebody else to take care of. You can assign it. Whatever you want to do. Maybe nothing. Maybe there's nothing to do, which is cool. There's a review all button at the very top. So at the end of the end, they're all reviewed and your inbox is empty.
Nice. That's a nice feeling. I'm not sure I've ever had that feeling, but it's something that Agorapulse is helping me get closer to than I've ever been before. Eileen Smith says that she likes the Agorapulse podcast, Social Media Lab, and could you share maybe one study, one finding, one conclusion or theory that's come out from that podcast that you found particularly helpful in managing your social media?
Sure. And shout out to Eileen. Thank you for that comment. Thank you for your support. The Social Media Lab, it's almost a separate entity. Agorapulse created it, but the idea with the Social Media Lab is we wanted to go out and actually test the things that people are saying or finding or questioning about social media. Like a really obvious common example is, what's the best time of day to post? Well, you can see lots of studies and you can see all kinds of outdated infographics, but what really is the best time to post? Is there any science? Is there any data that would tell you the answer to that question? Well, that's what the Social Media Lab tries to do. It's led by Scott Ayers on our team, and he runs these experiments and he puts out this really great podcast. So that's part of Agorapulse. One of the fun examples that I really enjoyed was this idea going back to Facebook ad comments. If you're running Facebook ads, most of the time you want engagement on the ad, because if I comment on your ad, then my audience might see that I commented on your ad. And now it's getting some organic interest and engagement, much like a regular post. And you'd have to pay for that, right? If 10 of my friends see the post that I commented on and they click through to look at your product, that's all, dollar-free clicks.
Right.
But what's interesting, what we looked at is, well, what happens when there are negative comments on an ad? Because some ad experts will tell you, leave them in place. They'll tell you that any kind of engagement is good engagement and it'll be good for your ad, so leave them there. And we want to test that. So that's exactly what we did. We created some ads and we seeded some positive comments on a bunch of the ads. And then we seeded some negative comments on a bunch of the ads and we compared the results. And it was astounding just how poorly the ads performed when they had negative comments. Now, Facebook won't give you any different metrics. They pretty much look the same, except when it looks at clicks and conversions. So they'd reach the same number of people on average, but you'd see a 36% drop in clicks.
Wow.
That's significant, particularly if you're trying to sell something, right? If the whole point of the ad is to drive traffic to a webinar or product or something else that you're trying to promote, to lose 36% just because you left some negative comments, or worse, you didn't even know they were there because
Right.
you didn't know to check Ads Manager like we were talking about
Right.
before.
And it's not like any other social post. Like if you're asking a question, hey, did you enjoy the video? Let me know either way or whatever. This is affecting your business if that negative comment impacts things. Quick question from Eileen Smith. Will Agorapulse ever post? Try that 10 times fast. Will Agorapulse ever post to Pinterest?
That's a great question, Eileen. Pinterest is, obviously another social network, and it's one that there are other dashboards that support it. There are other tools that are really, really good at Pinterest, like Tailwind. I love Tailwind. Great friends with the folks at Tailwind. They make a really excellent Pinterest tool. And to be perfectly frank, if Agorapulse ever did support Pinterest, we probably still wouldn't do for it what you would get out of Tailwind. But to answer your question, it's possible. It's something we've looked at. It's something we've been asked about. And like anything else, it's a matter of a business decision. Is there enough demand for us to invest the development resources in adding that particular social network? Who knows? It might happen. It's not on our roadmap today, which is to say that it's not something that's actually planned. Right now, one of our big focuses this year is what we call unified everything, unified inbox, unified calendar, unified reporting, because right now it's all separated by social network. So you have a Twitter inbox for your Twitter profile. You've got a Facebook page inbox. What we want to do is give you the ability to choose a bunch of different social profiles and have a single inbox, which makes huge sense if you're managing a brand or some clients or something like that. Again, maybe you want to bring all the reports from all their channels into one single report. So that's been our big focus this year. Unified, some of the unified features are coming out as early as next month, and then gradually rolling out in the months after that. So after that, maybe we'll add Pinterest. Who knows?
Sounds good. Mike Alton, he is the brand evangelist for Agorapulse. Check out Agorapulse, agorapulse.com, or head on over to livestreamdeals.com, where you have all the products, services, and events that we feature on this show, and find out more information. Give it a try. It really is an amazing tool, and so many people who are very successful with social media have been adopting it in the time since you took over as brand evangelist. You've really I've seen it just explode within this community of live streamers and podcasters and social media creators. So congratulations on everything you're doing, and look forward to hanging out in a couple weeks in
Thank you very much.
Lima, Ohio.
Yeah, see you then.
Thanks so much, Mike. That is Mike Alton from Agorapulse. And you can find all products and services and events featured on Livestream Deals at livestreamdeals.com, and the show notes. You can find that at livestreamdeals.com/EP21, livestreamdeals.com, letter E, letter P, number 21. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you again on another episode of Livestream Deals. Take care, everybody.